Today we are going to have a simple conversation reading a bunch of Reddit comments. Now, based off the title, based off the thumbnail, you know exactly who it is we're talking about in today's video. The Red Wings' new best passer on the team. And I don't say that lightly, because if you go over some of the highlights, you go over some of the footage, you take some time to watch some of the replays and the tape, it's very apparent that Patrick freaking Kane is arguably looking better than he's ever had in the past 2 seasons or so. Now, Kane, of course, was the top free agent signing the Red Wings had earlier this year, just a little while ago. He's played a total of, 8 games played now with the Wings? And in this 8-game sample, he has 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 total points. On pace for about 44 points in 58 games with the Wings in this small sample, and realistically, I wouldn't be surprised if this 44-point pace actually turned out to be a little bit bigger by the time the season comes to an end. Patrick Kane, as everybody is familiar with, is pretty old. He's 35. He is just coming off of really big and bold surgery, that in which was never done by an NHL athlete to return and actually succeed afterwards properly. And so, when it comes to Patrick Kane, assuming he actually finishes off the season on a high note, let's say he continues producing points and he finishes the year with, let's say, 50, 55 even, if he ends up going out there and getting this done, then he'll be the first hockey player ever to get this surgery and actually show that it's a pretty alright thing to come back from. Like, not everybody who has it is all doom and gloom and end of their career type stuff at the end. Of course, you could say Patrick Kane is the exception to the rule, but it is still a very nice thing to note that he has been here. So, the reason we're talking about Kane is because there is some sentiment from the Red Wings fanbase that I wanted to go out there and read that has some pretty good comments about where he is with his game. Here's a post made on the R Red Wings subreddit by SASAPB. How is Patrick Kane looking? I'm a Hawks fan. How has Kane been looking for you guys? I've seen a couple of highlights here and there, and they look like classic Kane, but how is he doing the rest of the game? How well is he slotted into your system? The top comment goes out there and says, this Patrick Kane is looking pretty good. The rest of the team, not so much. If Kane could land some of those post shots, he'd probably be the best player on the team at the moment. And yeah, he probably still is, to be honest. And you know, I think it's really interesting and probably a good thing that one of the biggest things that's holding Patrick Kane back from being quote-unquote the best player on the team is the fact that he's hitting the post a little bit, because that is just snake-bitten, rotten gosh darn luck that is pretty much holding him back from having an even better points per game and a goal per game number. Aside from that, Patrick Kane has been pretty good. 2 goals and 4 assists through 8 games played. He's looked pretty darn good, one of the better looking players through most of the recent stretches of games. Still has the elite vision and passing. I didn't know he had hip surgery. I'd say you'd never be able to tell. And realistically, he could have had 10 to 12 points in total if he had a little bit better puck luck and other guys buried shots off his passes. Another reply says, yeah, I agree with all of this, but his speed is mid to lower tier, which isn't bad, it's just adding to what I've seen. He's never really known to be a fast guy, though, which definitely makes sense. I mean, Patrick Kane was never really the speedster that we could say Connor McDavid or Jack Hughes have been. He's just been the guy, you know, possession-based, rover-based type of winger, very good passing, good vision, just very skilled with the puck. He could dangle, he can make a cool move once in a while. And Patty Kane has definitely showed off a lot of those skills as a Detroit Red Wing. He is one of the best players on the team most of the time. The rest of the team has forgotten how to play hockey. At one point in the power play last night, Patrick Kane had the puck and was looking to pass while everyone stood perfectly still for at least 5 seconds. And speaking about those passes, I mean, sure, when he has the puck, he's got a lot of ability to make things happen himself. We haven't seen passes like this since Pavel Datsyuk with the Red Wings. Callisto Titan goes out there and says, his saucer pass to Olimata last night was vintage Datsyuk. And you know, it is kind of poetic in a way, having Pavel Datsyuk be this fantastic, phenomenal franchise talent for the Red Wings, and then having Patrick Kane being the next best thing, a decade later? I don't know, Pavel Datsyuk left the NHL a while ago, but you get what I mean. Patrick Kane having those silky mitts and making those beautiful passes crisp, clean, and sometimes out of nowhere with eyes in the back of his head. That's Datsyuk stuff right there. Another similarity to Datsyuk is highlighted right here. When Patrick Kane has the puck, opponents rarely challenge him, and they always give him space. It reminds me a lot of how players treated Datsyuk, even at the end of his career. That tells you a lot about how much his skill is still respected. He's got 6 points in 8 games, and has hit a lot of posts. Make of that what you will. And I feel like that's a super underrated aspect as to this entire thing as well, that when you have players that are so good, so talented, and everybody knows they're so talented. I mean, Patrick Kane's a former 100-point guy, Art Ross winner, Stanley Cup champion. What, he's won the Hart Trophy before, right? He also has the Conn Smythe. He's had all the awards that are possible for somebody to go out there and win. And he's really cemented himself in NHL history as one of the best 100 players ever, pretty much. So fans are going out there, getting a treat. Players are going out there, not challenging him, respecting his possession and his passing, his dangling. They're giving him space because they don't want to make a fool out of themselves by getting posterized by Patrick Kane. And the guy is in a position where if he'd just been a little bit more lucky, he could have had a few more goals here and there. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good update as to how everything has gone down with Kane and the Wings, has it not been? If you're a Chicago Blackhawks fan, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How has Patrick Kane looked if you've been paying attention to the games and the footage and stuff? I don't know how available Red Wings games are in the Illinois area. I'm not too sure how everything works out in the USA because I get it, you guys got a lot of extra sports going on, a lot more sports available to you on TV than we do over here in Canada. So it's always tough to go out there and try to project this stuff, but if you've been having the chance to watch these games and see the footage, what are your thoughts on how Patrick Kane has transitioned over to the Wings? Is he looking like vintage Patrick Kane? If you're a New York Rangers fan and you've had the opportunity to sit down and watch this transition into Detroit, do you think Kane looks a little bit different than he did when he suited up for the Rangers at the end of last season? Is there a noticeable change in the way this surgery has affected Kane's play? Is there a little bit more of a bite to his game now compared to the Rangers stint he had last time? And of course, if you're a Detroit Red Wings fan, then what are your thoughts on Patrick freaking Kane? He is setting up guys like Alex DeBrincat with smooth, silky, buttery passes, which is beautiful. We haven't seen this in years, and it's so nice to see it happening with the winged wheel on now. I mean, look, I'm not going to go out there and say Patrick Kane is going to re-sign in Detroit next year, but if things end up continuing like this, and he wants to stay with DeBrincat even further, then why not? Patty Kane, man, come back, 2 years. How does that sound? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this Patrick Kane thing. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and read the rest of the Reddit comments. I just thought it'd be fun to go out there and make this video because, look, the Wings have been pretty bad lately. A lot of bad hockey, a lot of bad players, a lot of inconsistent overall cohesion on the team. But Patrick Kane is doing things that I don't think we have seen in a red, white, winged wheel sweater since Datsyuk, so that's pretty good, right? Of course, it is poetic, being reminded of that rivalry, the Blackhawks and the Wings of the 2010s, and seeing how nowadays Patrick Kane is on the Wings. It's interesting, kind of weird, but still cool. And now Patrick Kane is doing some awesome things with the Wings. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this entire Kane development into Detroit, how he's played, and how the surgery has not seemed to slow him down in the slightest. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.